We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello Realmers, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to Changeling. We're here, Spencer's in the library, because we're finally showing him everything. So this is the brother. Yeah, this is the brother. That remains to be seen. Bella's gave me a questioning look. He's convinced I'm not really his sister because I'm all magical and he's not, or whatever. I am afraid to tell you, but you may well be all magical as well, you know. You mean I could actually be whatever she is? Fairy traits awaken slowly. Just because you appear to be human now doesn't mean you will remain so. I hadn't considered the possibility that maybe our life energy was weird because we were at different stages of awakening. Spencer didn't look too happy about the idea of being Fae, but I had to admit I was silently gloating. After 5 years of being told I was a monster, it was nice for him to be told he might be in the same boat. Isn't there some kind of definitive way to tell? Someone has to come up with a test to identify the type of cryptic heritage a person might be? It doesn't show up in blood work, Spencer. Otherwise, normal society would have noticed these things by now. He shot me an annoyed look. Yeah, glare all you want. You're just mad that you're being forced to interact with me. It's normal for him to have questions, Michiko. You did too, you know. What about files at the agency you work for? Our files? The event 5 years ago. You had to have a file on that, right? I can't imagine that something like that happened and your agency didn't remotely get involved in it. There is a file on you. There is? I had Spencer's way smarter than me. I honestly hadn't even considered that possibility. Why had I not considered that? Can we see it? It's unlikely they turn it over to you for inspection, but I have taken a look at it, right after your sister was inducted into the club. You never told me that. I didn't particularly see a need. There's nothing of interest in it anyway. How can that possibly be the case given the events that took place? The event 5 years ago coincided with a rash of other disappearances around town. I don't know if you're aware of that. Most of the other people that went missing were never found. When you returned, the agency briefly looked into the situation and quickly ruled out a connection. At the time, the focus was on attempting to locate the other missing persons. By the time someone was free to look at your case, your family had left town. It was marked unsolved, and as the two of you were no longer in this jurisdiction, no further looking into it was done. So you really have nothing on her, is what you're saying. Bellows raised an eyebrow as he gazed at Spencer over the top of his glasses. For the record, the foul is on you both. Yeah, Spencer. Not just me, you bitch. Calm down. The library door opened again, and this time Mark came through. He had wanted to help us research, and frankly, I was glad for the distraction. Spencer was getting on my last nerve with his nastiness. I waved to Mark as he joined us at the counter. I have one more question for you, and that is, you said there's a chance I'm Fae or whatever, but that means there's a chance I'm not, right? Of course, there's much a chance that Fae heritage only passed to your sister, leaving you as a normal human being, albeit one with a sensitivity to magic. Is there a chance that Michiko and I aren't related at all? Hey, you bitch! We look alike. What do you mean? Oh my god, I'm going to go find some books to read. I was so over his accusations. It had been really stupid of me to assume that telling him the truth would in any way affect his opinions about me. It would be faster for me to retrieve them for you. No, I think I'd rather go find them personally. I'll go with you. Okay. Let's go, Mark. Let's leave my brother alone. Thanks, I guess. I didn't protest as he followed me into the stacks, leaving Allie and Spencer to start their reading. Thank you. No thanks necessary. I just thought it would be faster if you had help. Not that we were really in a rush. This library is stupidly huge. Well, it is the primary source of paranormal information in the world, so I've heard. He paced silently behind me for a moment. You seem upset. Yeah, well, Spencer's being unpleasant. I noticed. I take it that things are not going well with him. Hardly. I don't know why I expected anything else, but clearly whatever he's seen so far hasn't helped explain to him whatever happened 5 years ago. And what exactly did happen 5 years ago? I have no idea. He still hasn't told me. I checked the labels on the shelves as we walked, keeping an eye out for what I needed. I think it's this row. I stepped between two shelves, eyeing the books binds as we went. But Alice needs to get a computer system for this place. I looked up, squinting my eyes as I read through the titles. You really didn't have to come with me, by the way. I'd prefer to be here. Oh, don't care for my brother's company. No, I don't, actually. I gave him a sidelong look. Wait, he really came with me because he didn't want to be around Spencer? I mean, why would he? He doesn't know Spencer. I can't say that I blame you. He's pretty crotchety. I don't even know if I'm saying that word correctly. That isn't why. I've been dealing with you well enough for quite a while now. Oh, please, I'm nowhere near as crabby as he is. Spencer has reached end boss levels of angry. Mark was silent for a moment as I tipped my head sideways to read the book titles. He leaned against the shelves opposite of where I was looking and watched me. What's with the creepy music, dude? I didn't think he was going to explain himself, but after a long moment, he spoke again. People like him are the reason I hate humans. People like him? Short, angry guys? Entitled, demanding, suspicious. People with psyches so fragile, they have to be kept in a bubble and protected. The ones who find out about this world and lash out because they don't know how else to respond. And they prove time and time again that they are indeed incapable of coping with what we deal with every day. I stopped and looked back at him. Part of me wanted to defend Spencer. Part of me wanted to let Mark rant about him. People struggle to accept change. Even I struggle with it. I still do. But you're accepting it, even if it frustrates you. Spencer's accepting all this too. Is he? How much effort are you expending just to try to reason with him, to make him accept you? No one had to do that with you. And look how little effort he's making in return. He's so hateful to you all the time. He's not here to help you with your research or to find answers. The only reason he's here is to find some proof he can use to vilify you. Oh, wait, yeah, he could read Spencer's mind too, I forgot. I already know that. I chewed on my lower lip as I trailed my fingers over the book on the shelf in front of me. I already knew that anyway. I gave Mark a tired smile, doing my best to not project every frustrating thought I was having at the moment. I mean, it's obvious, right? I'd hoped that he'd be different once we told him the truth, but in the end I knew it would be like this. Even that first day in the club when Allie said maybe I could fix things with Spencer, I knew it wouldn't be easy. I knew it might not even be possible. I may be a hopeless idiot when it comes to watching my back, but I know Spencer way better than you, and even I see that he just wants to prove himself right. I sighed, trying not to let the hopelessness completely overwhelm me. Just because he knows the truth, it doesn't mean we suddenly understand each other. That would definitely be asking too much. I looked up at him again, trying to find the right words. I didn't want to justify Spencer, but I could definitely understand where his anger is coming from. Sort of. I wanted to understand anyway. But for the record, I don't think my brother's necessarily representative of all humans. He's kind of a special case. I don't know if that's the correct choice. I haven't really been rewinding back to pick the correct choice. So, oh, okay, so obviously this was the right one. Music changed. I have no idea where this route is going with Mark, because again, I haven't been going back to double check on music cues. Oh, did you read his mind? Your brother's mind is more closed off than yours. Oh, shit, really? Unlike you, he doesn't shout his thoughts at me, but I think it's obvious from his actions. He has no intention of approaching this as if it's a mystery that needs solving. He believes he already has the answers. He just wants proof that he's right. I sighed and rested my head against the bookshelf, biting my lip. I hope not. I hope that if I told him the truth, that if we let him in on all this, he'd be different. That he'd see I'm trying to figure out what I really am. That I'm not trying to hide some nefarious secret from him. I was hoping he'd just tell me what happened back then. I asked him about it yesterday, but he wouldn't budge. I turned around and looked up at Mark. I know it's easy to hate him. Believe me, I know that. But I think he was just hurt really badly. Not just physically, emotionally, mentally. Those kind of injuries aren't really that easy to heal. I mean, he makes me so angry, and most of the time I want to hit him, but I also feel sorry for him. I don't think he's a bad person. You're... Okay, the music flipping flopping everywhere. You're trying to do what you can to help him and make him feel comfortable in his own little world because he's incapable of coping with the one bad thing that happened to him. It was a pretty bad thing. It left him blind in one eye, whatever it was. And it left you without your memories, with your relationship with him in ruins. The last part is something he suffered through as well. Why are you so determined to make him the victim? Why does it make you so angry? He caught my arm and looked down at me intently. My parents did the same thing. They went above and beyond to protect humans who never would have reciprocated. Every day they bent over backwards to try to prove themselves. It has yet to work. The very humans they tried to help, regulate us, regulate our basic life functions. They tell us what to wear, how or when we can eat. Our personal relationships are illegal, or they require paperwork and contracts. What does that mean? Like you can't date a human? I'm assuming. I lived my entire life in a box just because they were afraid someone would lash out at me to get to them because of what they did to help people like your brother. And he's doing the same thing to you. You're winding your entire life around his needs. You're spending every waking moment thinking of how to fix his problems. I'm confused on Mark's route. I pray to God I don't get shitty end. at this point. And if Spencer isn't human, what then? I understand where you're coming from, Marc. Okay. I understand where you're coming from, Marc. I mean, I get it. The bitterness, the anger. Even I was ticked when Allie suggested I'd have to register as an agency just for being me. I can't imagine what it's like growing up with a litany of rules that dictate the smallest aspects of your life. I mean, on one hand, I do kind of get that it's wise to keep people from going around eating other people, but it definitely feels like it's out of balance right now. It's certainly not the world my parents or any of their colleagues envisioned, but that's not a reason to hate an entire group of people. That's not going to solve anything. And look, obviously there are humans who can handle the truth. Look at Elliot's family. Elliot's family is an exception. Look at your brother. I came to look for books and get away from my brother. I can see that. He sighed and grabbed my chin in his hand. Hello? Gently forcing me to look at him. Yes? You're so goddamn cute. There's no need to waste your time on someone who's treating you the way he treats you. I keep telling myself that maybe he has a reason for it. No reason justifies the way he behaves towards you. You're trying to help him and he's utterly ungrateful. He's dealt with a lot. So have you. He's so cute. Stop. He released me and dragged a hand through his hair. This is what I don't understand. Why are you so determined to defend him as if you haven't also dealt with your fair share of negativity from all this? Because he's my brother, and if I let myself play victim in all this and ignore what he's gone through, I'll just end up hating him. You're kinder to him than he deserves. Just for the record, I'm not doing any of this because Spencer's human. I hate how the music's constantly changing. I want it just to be happy for longer than just a minute. I'm doing it because he's my brother. Human, not human, I can't let myself get caught up in things like that. If Spencer hates me because I'm not human and I retaliate by hating him because he is, where does it end? I pulled a book out of the shelves and held it up. This is the one I was looking for. I started back to the tables but stopped and looked at Marc again. I know things can't go back to how they were. I just want them to at least be better than they are right now. He doesn't deserve you, you know? I'm not so sure about that. I'm sure of it. I get the feeling you're biased. I get the feeling you love me. He's not worth your time. That has nothing to do with bias. I grabbed him by the arm and looked him in the eye. He's my brother. That doesn't change just because I'm Faye or because he's a creep. We walked silently back to where the others were sitting. We're very grabby with each other. To our surprise, when we stepped out of the stacks, Adrian was sitting with Allie and Spencer. They had a short tower of books on the table and the three of them were reading together. My brow furrowed as we rejoined them. What are you doing here? Sorry to interrupt your double date or whatever, I just thought I could help research. I immediately noticed the lack of gloves. Though, I suppose that since Spencer might not be human anymore, he didn't have to wear them. He gave me a sheepish smile. Sorry, it drives me nuts to wear them when reading. The feeling of the paper against the leather. Ugh, he shuddered. It's like nails on a chalkboard for me. Anyway, where did these books come from? Well, Violet said it was pathetic to just sit here, so he came and dumped some books on the table. And Spencer thinks he may have found something. What? You've been reading for like 5 minutes. I've been researching for over a week and I haven't found a damn thing. I mean, Spencer seems pretty smart between the two of us. He asked questions that I did not to think of. So, what have you been searching for? I don't know. Fairies and amnesia? Well, I was looking for fairies pretending to be human. I'm not pretending to be human. And we're not pulling the two of you apart again, so stop fighting. I tried to tamp down the urge to smack Spencer in the face with the book I was carrying. I sat on the table and took a deep breath. Fine, what did you find? Spencer pushed a book toward me, tipping his head back as I skimmed the page. Changelings. I read about these before. I don't think it applies. It matches up. Which parts? The parts about them replacing a real human and it being disguised to look like the baby it replaced. This is where we're going to stay for today, because technically Spencer is correct. Again, always correct. Goddamn Spencer. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. We got a little part of Marc and I together, very touchy-feely, but it's not in like a romantic way. It's more like, bitch, you're too nice. Bitch, I know I am because I care about my brother. Anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Touch it, touch it, touch.